Oh,
Kyle,
Yes.
let's go through the routine.
we have a price that we extract from each one of our guests here,
Okay.
and it is a price that you need to pay now.
All right.
We're going to need a story from your youth about the stupid thing that you did that almost got you killed.
Stupid thing that I did that almost got me killed.
Yes.
Just think like misspent youth, like stupid
I have
situations.
so many.
That's kind of
That's
the
what
problem.
everybody says.
No, but I mean legitimately. Like I shattered my cheek when I was 5.
You didn't necessarily have to almost died, but the dumbest thing you did when you were a kid.
Yeah, I'm more. We're more so
Teenager.
thinking like teenage, like acting like a dumb fucktard and getting yourself into stupid situations.
Everybody's always like, "Oh, I could fill up hours and hours." Okay, come out swinging. What's number one with a bullet? What
that
is it?
fucking matters? Like, because the one where I literally almost died wasn't in my teens. That shit was like 5 years ago.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
So, like my 24th birthday, I went to Union
Did you pour
Jacks.
4 shots?
Huh?
Oh, you kind of looked at it like, "Huh, what have I done?" I thought you poured 4 shots.
I went to Union Jacks and drank a ridiculous amount of Patron.
Okay.
Went back to a friend of mine's house.
One of the interesting things that I find about this segment that we've done is everybody always remembers vividly what alcohol it was that they were drinking when they did whatever stupid fucking
Oh, of
thing
course.
they did. It wasn't just like, "Oh, we were drinking tequila." I was drinking Patron, or I was drinking specifically whatever it was.
All right, so this is Powers whiskey. So
Okay.
it's pretty good shit. It's a little stuff.
Last call, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
It's a good idea. We should do this at the end. No,
One at the end.
So I was drinking Patron. Went back to a friend's house. Thought it was a great idea to bump a whole bunch of lines of fucking Percocet.
good start. Here we go.
Game on.
Passed out on my friend's floor, fully clothed, like, and not that kind of pass out where you're like, "Oh, I'm going to bed." I mean, like, awake, like asleep,
I can't
kind
move?
of, yeah, like kind of shit. Woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning to both of his kids hovering over me, just staring at me like, "Who is this? And why is he like in a dress shirt and a tie on our floor at 7 o'clock in the morning?"
Okay.
So that's probably the time where I actually almost died. I mean, when people say like,
Just from like alcohol poisoning?
well, just mixing a narcotic and how much tequila I drank,
Gotcha. Okay.
like, and it wasn't like I did like a few lines. Like we did a ton of fucking Percocet that night. Like, I'm not gonna incriminate anybody and whatever. But
Perks and tequila.
yeah,
Breakfast of champions.
not really, because that was the worst fucking hangover. I've ever
Everybody
had in my
knows
entire
there's
fucking
only
life.
one place to get Percocets here in Central Maryland.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
Stanley Dixon.
Oh, okay.
Sad thing is that used to be true.
I was totally joking.
But, I mean,
I was hoping that'd be way out of left field. I was hoping you'd be like, "Oh no, he's never touching stuff." Oh, okay.
I mean, but honestly, I used to run with like a bunch of the wrong
Allegedly.
people and shit, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I have from where I grew up to who I am as a
Where'd
person
you grow up?
now. I mean, I grew up in Howard County, but everyone knows me as I guess the kid from Howard County who raps or whatever. But like my family is hood as fuck. Like my this is terrible to say on the podcast, and he'll probably never hear it. But like my uncle's a dope fiend and shit. Like his son had just got done doing 18 for like an armed robbery case, like, and is currently back in because he tried to rob a fucking bank 2 weeks after or 3 weeks after he got out. Like I try to stay away from that shit, but this is like,
It's family.
that's my family, and like I've been in multiple situations where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is why my mom didn't have me living in Cleveland where I was born, or DC where my father lives, or any of that shit. Like, my mom's like, we're moving to fucking Howard County, so you're not gonna get into any fucking shit.
So she got you away from all that stuff.
She tried to, but like the thing about growing up in Howard County though is once you reach 15, 16, there's nothing to do but cause trouble.
I feel like almost everybody
Until you're 21.
I feel like almost everybody I've ever met Now I don't know a lot of people that grew up in like almost everybody I've ever met says that same thing. There's nothing to do from like 15 to 21
except for cause trouble, because like you're at that age where you want to
It's just
explore
a coming
shit.
of age thing. I think that's what everyone.
But why? But the thing is, I know so many people who like went on to do like great shit. I have friends that have played in the NFL. I have a friend who's won a fucking Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I have friends that are like out touring the world in bands and all this other shit and play Warped Tour and all this other stuff. But I also have friends who are doing fucking 18 fucking years because they robbed the gas station around the corner that they got, like, God forbid.
Dare to dream, kids. Stay in school.
I know, like, I have a friend who fucking literally did some years for robbing a fucking gas station in the neighborhood we all lived, like, we grew up in.
Oh,
and then got out. And then fucking got out and robbed the same fucking gas station and is back, like, back in prison.
Gotta admire his persistence.
I guess, but like, what?
Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm.
Third time he's gonna hit it rich. But I mean,
that gas station owner better be watching those
parole
hearings.
That's what I'm saying, man. Is like with Howard County, it's just once like the skating rink isn't cool anymore. It's just like, how much weed can we smoke? How many fucking drugs can we do?
Yeah.
How much shit can we cause? How many things can we break into? How much shit can we break? How many fights can I get into? Like, how many parties can I go to? Like, this is my teenage years. It wasn't until I was like 25 where I was just like, all right, man, this shit is getting like a little monotonous. Like, I don't want to continue drinking like an asshole every day and fucking.
Well, let's do a quick spin-off into fights in Ellicott City then.
Hey.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we'll finish with that.
Okay.
So you have been a bouncer at Cocoa Lane for I don't know how long.
9 years.
Oh, really? That long?
Yeah, same with the Phoenix.
Nice.
I started bouncing at the Phoenix, and then the guys from Cocoa Lane, Andy and Owen, came up one day and were like, we need a bouncer. And like the Phoenix was like my first bouncing job. Like Aaron taught me how to bounce. And then the guys from the Cocoa came over and were like, we need a bouncer. So literally I was working at the Phoenix on Fridays and Cocoa on Saturday. And then I realized that I could make more money at Cocoa. I was making $180 in a weekend working at both places. And when I went to Cocoa, I was making $200 in a weekend. Yeah. So I was just like, it's an extra $20. Like, right. It's way more lax. Like, it was just a lot easier than having somebody breathing down. I love Aaron, but he was like breathing down my neck because like me and Aaron eventually became very close, and I didn't understand why at the time, but I get it now. Yeah. Like, it made me a better bouncer. It made me aware of my surroundings more than just, some young dumb kid at 21 trying to fucking make some money. So, but go ahead. Yes.
I'm going to ask.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to ask I'm going to ask a strange question,
Go for it.
And then I'll let you have your glory moments. What's the one when you were bouncing that didn't go the way you wanted? Did you ever get your ass kicked?
No.
Never once?
Nope.
You?
No. I mean, I've been, as a bartender, I've been sucker punched.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been sucker punched like countless times as a bouncer, but I've never got my ass whipped.
That's how, like, I didn't bounce all that long. It's,
Yeah, but you were always kind of a little hybrid-y.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
you were. Yeah, you were.
I kind of had that reputation in Ellicott City where it's like,
well, that's how we met.
Yeah, you don't fuck around at Diamondback because that bartender will fuck you up.
Well, I mean, our mutual friend Larry, like,
oh yeah,
that's just once I learned about that whole situation, I was like, Mike ain't really the dude to be out here fucking with shit. So
yeah. I'll get Larry on here one time.
But okay, I'm sorry. You had a story you wanted to tell. I was just curious to see if it had ever gone poorly.
Oh no, yeah, no.
So that's actually how Dixon and I met. I was bartending at Loafers, which fucking sucked. And
yeah, I finally saw that the other day when I was coming here. I was like, "Oh, that's Loafer that Mikey's talked about." Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
sucks.
The owner is a huge racist, like big Greek dude that hates black people, but like 80% of his clientele.
80. Like 95.
Oh, after like 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah, okay.
They have like happy hour crowd that's like old Catonsville white people.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That's what he wants all day. Okay.
But No, the owner is like a huge racist, and he just fucking hates black people, but most of his clientele is black people. And so he would just, like, as soon as there was even an inkling of, like, a disagreement, he would just start dropping N-bombs. And it's like...
Like at the table? Or like...
Oh, like, somebody would... like
That's not going to help anything.
There'd be, like, a slight disagreement with, like, a customer.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I don't want these fucking monkeys in my bar.
Jesus.
Like, and, you know, I'm sitting there as the only male bartender... And then there's like, for the most part, while I was there, the bouncers, they had the worst bouncers. Like, nobody gave a shit.
Is this pre or post Larry?
Huh?
Is this
before
pre-Larry or post? Okay.
But it's like, so Dixon and I actually met one time where Harold, the owner at Loafers, had like whipped this, what could have been a minor problem, up into a frenzy. And then because of that, now I'm having to like wrap up a guy from behind and like pull him to the ground.
Right.
And then we throw one guy out, and as I'm throwing him out the door, he sucker punches me.
Uh-huh.
And we just close the door on him, whatever. And then Harold decides that the guy that happened to be sitting next to this other guy also had to be kicked out.
Okay.
They had just met that night. They weren't together. Like they were just talking, like striking bar conversation. Mm. So he kicked this other guy out. And as we're throwing this guy out, he takes a swing at me. And it was like, he sucker punched me. And then one of Dixon was there, and one of his friends like pushes the guy, and I grab the guy like hockey style, like pull his shirt and fucking uppercut him.
So Dixon is there as a patron?
Yeah, we met. He was just there drinking.
Okay.
And then, yeah, they were. That's how we met.
He pulled a shirt over a guy's head and started hitting him in the body.
And uppercut him in the face, and he fell down in the street. And the owner, at this point, was like, Mike, the bartenders weren't allowed to get involved. He was allowed to instigate the fuck out of any race-baiting bullshit argument that he wanted to. Right. But the bartenders couldn't get in the middle of stuff. And
I have the clearest image in my head of this, like, big Greek dude just yelling racial obscenities at people and just whipping a crowd into a frenzy.
Yep, that is Loafers in a nutshell.
It is so clear in my head.
I mean, as a bouncer as well, like I've never bartended, just strictly been a bouncer. I've been jumped countless times at work, like, but nobody's ever really been able to like. I hate to sound cocky, but get the job done. Like
so people, so like you run a guy out. And then he comes back later.
Yeah, I mean that's happened before.
Should we just roll this into another half hour? We cut it.
We can. I don't.
I got nowhere to be. Honestly, for another 20 minutes. So.
I mean, we're at an hour 20. I mean, with 20 minutes of blackness, we can keep going. I mean,
this is like that's the third racist comment I've gotten this week.
Third
like
I was about to say, is that the third racist comment I've made in an hour and a half? I'm clearly like, holy week. Shit!
Shout out to Mikey's wife.
You're about to shift my whole life perspective.
Shout out to Mikey's wife for the super racist comment about medicine on Sunday.
I don't.
The Vicks, you must have had grape in your house.
Oh yeah, she was so funny. Like.
I love Christina though.
Go ahead, explain how that. She had no
tell
idea.
Tell me what racist shit Christina said. I want to lord this over her head for forever.
We were talking about.
It was nothing, but she had no idea.
Yeah, it was just like it was a Freudian slip. Essentially, it was just like not supposed to be something that turned out to be. We were talking about how Christina hates the taste of artificial cherry, like cherry candy, cherry, like any kind of stuff like that. And she was talking about how she had like Vicks, like 44, like Vicks, whatever the fuck it was. Okay. And she had the cherry kind in her house. And I was like, yeah, like I was like, yeah, I really hate like the grape kind or whatever. And she was like, oh, you must have grown up with like the grape in your house, right? And I was just like, no, no, I didn't actually. I just don't like the way it tastes. And I literally looked at her and like without missing a beat, I was like, that's super racist. And Mikey, of course, hysterically starts laughing at the top of his lungs.
Oh man!
And that's actually something else happened today at work. There was I was sitting at a table. I work with kids with autism. I was sitting at a picnic table with one of the kids that I work with, and one of my coworkers walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, Kyle, are these your sunflower seeds back here?" I was like, "For real, bro? Like sunflower seeds? Like that's the route we're gonna go."
Is that racist?
Yeah, I didn't know that was.
Do black
Yeah,
people like sunflower seeds?
I've never seen a white person with sunflower seeds.
Really? The only
No,
ever.
that's like a white thing, like baseball players.
I've
and
never seen it.
truckers and
Oh,
shit.
really?
Yeah,
I never knew
Really?
that one.
I always thought it was like with like baseball players. I understand, like, or
Well, it's because they
well,
can't
growing
shoot tobacco on the field, right?
anymore,
So they,
right? Like,
What's that?
because I always thought it was like truck drivers and fucking baseball players. It was like
I mean, people who quit
they would just
chewing
chew or
tobacco,
dip
I
on the-
think,
yeah.
start chewing sunflower seeds.
I mean, it's the same
I'm
effect.
gonna turn over the Jafar sand. Just see how far we make it into another.
I like where your head's,
I just
like where your
assumed-
head's at right now.
I just assumed it was like, as growing up again. Maybe it's just a cultural difference. Like growing up with like a part of my family being Southern, like I just equated sunflower seeds to black people.
Oh, interesting.
Like
No,
I've never seen a white person with like a bag of sunflower seeds.
I would have gone the other way. Chewing sunflower seeds seems like a white people
See,
thing to me.
I've never in my in my
I would've
30
thought
fucking
the
years
same
on
thing.
this planet, I've never seen a
Because
white person.
the
with a
only
bag of
people I've
sunflower seeds.
seen eat sunflower seeds are Christina and John G. That's the only.
Oh yeah,
John G's
Christine
black,
eats sunflower seeds. That's interesting.
John
I haven't
G's
done
black.
that in a long.
Nikki's
long
not,
time.
but John G is definitely black.
I hate sunflower seeds.
I
The
haven't-
ranch ones
I
are
haven't- I haven't
delicious.
tried in forever. It always seemed super weird to me.
It's
but
truthfully, it's way more of a hassle than,
I think it's
it's
just the
worth-
fun of spitting something onto the ground.
and
right?
they're delicious. So
it's
like
more fun just like
once
put it
you
in your
get the
mouth and
seasoning,
just spit it
off
back
of the-
out. Right.
Once you get the seasoning off of the seed, it's a waste of time.
Right. Exactly. So
Well,
just spit it back on the ground.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
worry
that's
about
what I'm gonna-
like chewing the husk off.
Yeah,
Just
like,
spit
That's what I do.
sunflower seeds
It's
out.
like
Well, that's why I'm gonna commit Maryland blasphemy, and that's why I barely like
I'm with you, bro.
crabs.
I'm with you. I'm
Because
with
they're-
you.
oh, you think that's blasphemy? I fucking hate crabs.
They're too that.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah, it is a waste of time.
It's
I would
upsetting.
Starve to death eating crabs.
Crabs.
That's what my dad always used to say.
Crabs are the minimum wage of food. You work all that fucking time for nothing.
And you know what? Like it'd be one thing if it just took that long to eat that little of food, but like they're fucking covered in spikes and like it's a natural surface that like cuts your hands, and then
You
like,
get
to top it
Old
off,
Bay in 'em and
we
shit.
coat them in a powder that hurts like shit anytime you get in any sort of cut. It's the
But
goddamn
at the same time,
worst.
why don't you Old Bay or not crabs, lobsters? I've never seen anybody Old Bay lobster. Lobsters
That's why.
are delicious.
That's why lobsters are crap.
It's because you don't want to. Yeah, well, I have heard that lobsters are garbage.
I love
like-
lobster.
Like
Why?
lobsters are like
no,
cockroaches of the sea.
you don't love lobster. You love butter.
No, I don't actually put
I like
butter on my
lobster.
lobster or crabs. Like
I like lobster.
I just like lobster.
Lobster's good.
Well, it's just
A good lobster
flavor.
roll. Good lobster roll is banging. That's one of my favorite things. And a good lobster roll
Solid
has just a
volcano roll.
tiny bit of butter or mayo or whatever. It's just enough of a binder.
I don't give a fuck about the butter.
And a little bit of salt. Like that's.
I just like
that's
That's how
lobster.
you
banging.
like it. It's
I just
like
like lobster.
practically flavorless meat.
Can I just?
And
I mean, so
the
every
texture is
meat
really
is fucking
weak.
flavorless.
Too. I don't know.
Every meat is flavorless until you season it.
To some degree, I guess.
Like, I mean, meat's not like there was some comedian that was talking about this shit. Like, food is not supposed to taste good. Like, real shit. Like, the animals we fucking eat aren't supposed to taste good. It's seasoning.
Okay. All right. I get it.
You know what I mean? Like,
All
if you
right.
just like eat an unseasoned steak and see how you feel about that.
Unseasoned.
Or snake, whatever. Fuck it, either
unseasoned
one.
Snake.
Unseasoned
Yeah, eat an
steak is
unseasoned
delicious.
snake, Dixon.
I have no problem with unseasoned steak. It's
Not me.
delicious.
Maybe it's just black
fine.
in me. Maybe it's just being
And
black.
lobster
But
is good, and big crab is delicious.
yeah, if
King
I don't
crab
have to
and
fucking
shit like that,
if
it
I don't
is
have to crack
awesome.
that goddamn shell, you are yes, you are completely
No, I
correct.
mean even like the
Nope.
fucking big snow crab
Nope.
legs and stuff. You just
Nope.
one crack, but big
Mm-mm.
chunks.
No.
Delicious.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you can get
Just
reasonable
give
amounts of
me
food. It costs
goddamn
a
jumbo
fortune.
lump crab meat already out of the goddamn shell.
I'm just saying, I eat an unreasonable amount of food.
That's
for the
true.
most part, and it's like if you put like a bunch of steps between me and being able to eat, it upsets me.
And like
So-
a diagram
I
you
can
have
see
to
that.
follow.
Oh, and that's how I
and-
feel about eating crabs. I'm like, I love crabs. I mean, let's be specific. I love Old Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put that shit on everything.
Yeah.
Literally.
But if you make me go through all this work before I get to eat this small amount of food,
You know what
It's
pisses me
upsetting.
off most
Yeah.
about it is like once you crack it and you got to get that little scraper thing to get the meat out. Like,
Yeah, it's bullshit.
why do I need tools? Why do I need more tools?
All these.
That's
all these
honestly that's why truthfully most of the time I don't even like eating steak. Just too many tools involved. Like, give me a fucking burger. Hands, bite, we're good.
too many tools. You mean the knife and fork?
Yep.
that might
Exactly
be a
what
bit
the fuck I'm
extremist.
talking
You
about.
could eat a steak with your hands. That
You
is
could, but I'm not a-
theoretically
I'm not a
possible.
fucking
There's no,
savage.
like,
Clearly, you are.
Yeah.
You just said, you're like, I don't
You
like
said-
tools in my eating.
Now, what you said, there's a difference between
two tools is too
liking
tools,
them and them being a
too many.
necessary evil. There's a difference here, sir. I'll use them. I'm not partial to them.
I only eat things
I
I
can
can
use
use with my hands.
Yeah, I'm a 6'1", 285 pound toddler. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, ribs, burgers, tacos, burritos, anything I can eat with my hands, I'm with it.
See, that's a different end of the spectrum, ribs, where I love ribs, but the cost to
Right.
food ratio
Yeah,
upsets me.
yeah,
It
I'm
is
with you on
pretty
that,
low.
100%.
Especially baby back ribs. Baby
Yeah.
back ribs are like regular spare ribs or whatever. Those, I think those are fine. Like, you get a full rack of spare ribs at like a good barbecue joint. Those are great. But those baby back ribs, they're all
Little
fucking
tiny little bullshits.
$27 for a full rack or whatever. It's
Yeah.
absurd.
At that point, I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like,
Again, another food that requires a lot of work.
I don't think well cooked ribs require that much work.
Yeah, if you make them though, how often do you go to a place and you get well cooked ribs?
No, not like well done. I mean like
No, what
ribs
I'm
that are
saying. No, I
cooked
know what you mean.
correctly.
I know what you mean. Well cooked ribs. Like, I know.
where are you getting ribs? Where they're
Yeah,
difficult
seriously.
to eat?
Like, you
That's
can go to
pretty
like
much-
Famous Dave's,
I feel like, all right, for
which is the
instance,
McDonald's of
you
barbecue.
you peel that shit off,
Yeah.
and then you eat it.
maybe it's just my taste in fucking ribs, but like,
Is it because
Famous
it's not
Dave's
like a
not-
burger where you can also eat the bone, or like if you could
No,
get
but
ribs
what I
and
mean,
also
like-
eat the bone, you'd be okay with it?
I guess.
That sounds amazing. You just want a McRib.
I don't like
Fuck
eating
the
any
McRib.
food. I gotta
Fuck the
leave
McRib.
something
Fuck
behind.
ribs.
Kyle
sandwiches.
Moon wants the McRib in full like rack of ribs form.
Burger, yeah, just eat the whole thing.
That's why he doesn't like steak either. He doesn't like anything with a bone in it. He doesn't like anything that gets
yeah.
left behind.
See that?
I
you're,
bet you
you're
hate
misquoting
corn,
me.
right? You hate corn?
I do.
Yeah.
You're misquoting me on this. I will take the steps of a necessary evil. Like
Chicken
a fork and a
legs.
knife.
Chicken legs too much work.
Favorite part of chicken, actually.
All right, my theory is broken.
I
I will say turkey
actually,
legs.
thighs are my favorite, but
Oh, I hate chicken thighs.
what?
Fuck chicken thighs, man.
Fuck your watch. Yeah, I mean, like for ribs, going back to the rib thing, is just like I guess a lot of places that I've gotten ribs from, the ribs have just been terrible.
Oh yeah, no, good rack of ribs is
The best place I've gotten ribs from, honestly, honest to God, fucking Amish market.
Yeah, they make. Well, I mean, then it's cooking. Cooking's the challenge. Like cooking ribs correctly.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
rather
take that to the face. Go ahead.
don't
Go
stare
ahead.
at my cheap black people liquor.
I just want to take a moment to appreciate.
You hold it up for the webcam.
Yeah,
It's too far
we
away.
gotta get close for this.
the Arial font on the fucking front
So-
of my bottle of liquor.
He didn't just go, not just E&J.
E&J Peach.
E&J Peach.
And you did leave the peach out earlier when he asked you what you were drinking. You didn't
Yeah.
say.
Oh yeah,
E&J
absolutely, did because I
I mean,
know
I'm not
Mikey's
judging.
personality.
You fucking do.
You can judge
gotta
me all
take
you
a
want. I
whiff
really
of
don't
it.
give a fuck. Go ahead, try it.
Oh, it either smells awful or
Go ahead,
delicious.
try it.
There's
No,
no.
I mean, it
in
smells like peach schnapps.
Try it.
between. Oh, all right.
Somewhere between peach schnapps and like floor cleaner.
Dude, I
You
had
serve
a guy-
21-year-olds fucking alcohol. Try that shit.
I'm all right.
I meant to
Goddamn
bring it this
I'll-
time. I have a guy that works for me that he buys like illegal hooch from like North Carolina, and then he mixes it together with his own like ingredients.
Oh, what the
He
fuck?
makes an apple moonshine that tastes like drinking a sour apple Jolly Rancher.
Can he
you could-
see?
What's that?
Like, does he still have vision?
Yeah,
both eyes?
yeah, it is that you could absolutely poison someone with this stuff. I don't know how he makes it, but it is goddamn
Made
delicious.
out of 100% tie pen venom.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna bring it next time. We'll make our guest drink.
God.
Oh, that'll be good.
Who's your next guest?
I don't know. We just sort of figured
Whoever-
it out.
whoever
I
it
was-
is.
That's like how you ended up
I
with
got
this.
booked Sunday. Like,
Yeah.
"All right, come through on Wednesday.
We happened to run into each other, and I was like, "Hey, you want to be on the podcast?" It's like, boom.
And not, it's,
done.
I won't say it's the only reason, but because I did want to be on this podcast. But I just love the fact that I'm the only person who's been on both rivaling podcasts.
Toro's kind of been on both. I mean,
Well, he's the engineer for the other one. I've been a guest on both.
that's true. You
First-
are the
first
first. You are the
official
first
guest. Yeah.
crossover.
Yeah.
First official guest on both.
Like, I mean, Toro has his moments over there, like where he,
When
but
he's-
he's their engineer.
When he's allowed to talk.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. The first thing I've ever read on Facebook that really rocked me to my core was when you posted earlier in the week about how The Walking Dead was way overrated and you don't understand how people were so excited about a show that's fucking boring and poorly paced.
You're talking about.
And Chef Dave said, what did he say?
He said, "Oh, you're absolutely right. It's like the last call podcast of television."
Of television, yeah. I was like, I read that, I almost fucking fell over. That was the most savage goddamn thing anybody's ever said about anything. Oh my god! I just
Can you really be mad though?
I didn't know if like
No, I was like that.
it was
well.
it was genuinely funny. Like, but I didn't know whether to like it or like I didn't know what to do. So I threw my phone in a river.
Well, Mikey knows about my Facebook tantrums and shit. I just be deleting motherfuckers and shit.
It was just so casual. It was just like there was no reason for it. It came out of
Well,
nowhere.
that's the great thing about Chef Dave, where it's like people expect me to be a fucking asshole. People, they don't realize Dave is there. It might be because he's like 3 feet tall, but also like they just don't expect it. Like Dave's just kind of like flying under the radar, and then all of a sudden he's just as savage as I'll
Just
ever be.
lashes out.
But it just comes out of nowhere. So it's so much more potent.
See, I don't know this dude, but I feel like you're more like everyone knows you because of the bullshit that came with Diamondbacks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like not your bullshit, but I mean that like the overall bullshit of when you went to Diamondbacks Tavern, like sticky floors, fist fights. Hey, their bartender is not the person to be fucking with.
Right.
Like y'all were known for that. Like as far as like bartenders and bouncers, like on the street, everyone knew like if you go to Dimebacks, you're gonna have a great time. But the last set of bouncers and bartenders you really want to be fucking with work up there. We were next on the list, like because Chris and I did our thing, and most of I love everyone that worked at Coco Lane, but all of our bartenders, with the exception of Anton, were soft as a motherfucker.
No, nobody wanted to get involved.
Like, yeah, like
I never really chilled at Coco.
I went to work.
Like I knew
knowing-
everybody, but I never really chilled.
I went
so-
to work.
Favorite
knowing
fight
I had to fight.
you participated or witnessed at Diamondback?
Oh,
Was it the night you broke your hand?
that's probably the best. I don't think I've told that
That was-
story.
The night you broke your hand? Yeah, you told it.
did.
I think when Adam and when
Oh, we
Phoenix
did tell
and,
that story.
Caleb was here. Yeah.
So other than that, there was a time. It was actually when I was fight training with Larry,
Nice.
and people get out of hand. Oh, damn! I just
Was
thought
that
of another
Was
one.
that the window? When you
Huh?
chased the dude up the street?
What?
The
I
dude
don't
who
remember.
fucking Super
Oh.
Saiyan punched the fucking window.
Damn it! I was there for what 7.5 years. So
now
there's
you've,
like
now you've backlogged
now
three stories.
now
in
I
your
have
brain.
3 stories that I'd have to go through. All right, so the one was when I was training with Larry, and this guy gets out of hand. He starts swinging on people we know, and I grab him from behind and like start choking him out. And then somebody grabs me, knocks both of us over. So now I'm on my back with multiple people above me. So I reach up and hook this dude's eye.
Jesus Christ.
It's always a good sound.
And I was like, well, I need to get out of this quick. So I hook this dude's eye, like just grab by the eye socket and start pulling. And like until he lets go.
Right.
And then get up and
Oh, you're talking about the guy behind you who's pulled you down.
No, the guy who I had
Who
hold
you'd
of,
already hooked.
like when I got pulled over, I had lost that guy. Now he's basically on, like partially on top of me, but I don't have a hold of his like neck or anything. So
Okay, gotcha. All right.
so now I grab this guy and hook him by the eye and just basically pull until he lets go of me, and then we get up and it's fine. But when we all stand up, everybody sees this guy, and now he's got blood running down from his eye.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I guess you don't think about these things when.
You don't. You
but
don't.
like, what if you had like hooked into his eye and it just like
Tough shit.
fucking came out in your hand?
Tough shit.
Well, then
I guess tough
That's
shit,
the
but
way I
like
see it.
that's kind of one of those like life altering,
Don't
like
care.
fucking life's over kind of moment.
Don't
well,
care.
no, that wouldn't affect me, other than that kid could potentially come back and.
Murk you. That's about it.
Well, no, not that.
Or sue you.
This is Howard County.
sue
Nobody's
you.
sue you is a very real.
You're not gonna get. You're probably not
But
gonna get shot.
I don't
but
know. I feel,
definitely.
Well, that's
I
why
don't know
Chris-
about that. But
That's my wife was so worried about this stuff, is that she was never worried about me getting hurt or anything like that, or people really retaliating or stuff like that. She was worried about me getting in trouble because I hurt somebody else.
Yeah,
And-
I
I mean,
guess
so-
you can't think about these kind of things.
and
when
that's
you're-
that's the one thing I think you and I both forget sometimes is we both train, so we know a lot more than the average person. And I know for me, I forget it all the fucking time. Like when it's like go time, when it's game on and we gotta go, like I don't think about the fact, oh, I know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Oh, I know, I know how to do this. I know how to do that. Like I go into self-defense mode, where it's just like I try to avoid a situation, but if you're going to keep engaging, eventually you back me into a corner enough, I'm going to react.
Yeah, but I see that's what's kind of interesting to me. Like, especially when you have some kind of training, and when you're in a profession like the two of you have been or are in. I mean, from my perspective, you can't afford to have that on-off. I'm either everything's fine or I'm defending my life.
Ooh.
There's got to be a middle. I am pacifying idiots who are drunk and want to get into a little bit of a bar fight sort of mode.
There is.
I think if you live where, and I trained with guys who taught you this. They're like, oh, you don't fight until you do fight, and when you do fight, it's fighting to live. That's not what you're doing, right? You're not fighting for your life most of the time.
Completely
You could be.
dependent on the circumstance. Because I've been jumped twice by the same motherfuckers. Like,
Yeah.
literally the same fucking people who jumped me the first time jumped me a second time because they couldn't get the job done the first time. They didn't get it done the second time either. And I see this dude literally every 2 or 3 weeks. Like, just at some random bar. But I don't approach him. I didn't, use any kind of force in either one of those situations. I just got out scot-free. Like, the first fight, I didn't throw a single fucking punch. The second one, I tripped the dude and put him in an Americana, and, whatever happened from there. Now I see this guy all the fucking time, and...
Is that rape? Is
I
that a
mean,
yada
you
yada
heard it
yada?
here
Like,
first.
I put him in Americana
I mean,
and yada
if
yada yada.
that's-
He's naked
I mean,
on
I'll
the
let
road
you-
and bleeding.
I'll let you,
Like,
you know, think what you want from there. But, but I think it's circumstantial, and I feel like Mikey's a very good character of this. I don't like. We just met honestly today, but like, I feel like I'm a very good character of this, of determining how much force and energy and all that other stuff you need to use based on your circumstance.
Okay.
And your
All right.
situation.
I get that. All right.
Will I break your arm if I need to? Absolutely. Will I punch you till you stop moving if I need to? Absolutely.
Sure.
But if you're just fussing and squirming around on the ground, I'm just gonna let you wear yourself out.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be like, do you want, like, I'm gonna get up, like, we both can go home today. You know what I mean? Nobody has to get hurt. We can go. But if you want to,
Yeah, that's how most of the situations is.
yeah. And it's like, if you want to go that route where you need to prove in front of your boys that you're the toughest motherfucker in the crew and all this extra shit, and you need to do all the above and beyond, you're going to get hurt. For real. Like, not like, oh, my eye hurts or like my body hurts. That dude can throw a punch. I mean, like, ambulance.
I'll say that
somebody's going to come scrape you off the ground type shit.
I got you.
It is sort of interesting to see how different people view the same situation. Because I've been wary of that sort of confrontation for a while, because there was another time where a guy started stuff with my wife, and then
Ocean City?
No, not the Ocean City one. This was one at Diamondback.
Oh, okay.
And I slapped another guy unconscious, and he came back the next day and was like trying to like file suit.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to, once we explained the rest of the situation, which he was so drunk he didn't remember, but like everything that led up to it, he was sort of like, oh yeah. Because he was way in the wrong, but then it me trying to aggressively pacify the situation ended up with me slapping him unconscious. But so you have stuff like that. But ever since that, I was a lot more aware. So there was another time where we were at Diamondback, and a guy was getting out of hand, but it was like a smaller guy, and he was just fighting everybody. Like, this guy was like beyond drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And he was causing such a problem that he just wouldn't leave. So the bouncers would throw him out. And then eventually I just got tired of it, standing there trying to pacify the situation. I just like calmly walk up and pick him up like I'm going to do like a body slam, and then just walk him across the street and set him down. But he was so fired up as soon as I set him down, like, he starts grabbing onto my shirt and tears my shirt and all this other stuff. I was like, God damn it. But it's funny. I heard somebody talk about that incident, and they were telling the story. I was like, I remember when you picked that dude up and you fucking power bombed him onto the concrete on the other side. I was like, have you guys never been in a fight? Like, you can't tell the difference between me.
But your statement before that, have you guys never been in a fight?
Yeah,
Most people haven't.
Making. Like,
that's the thing, is most people haven't. Like, I can't speak for you, but I've seen you fight, and I know I've been in fights. Like, most people have not been in fights, and they don't realize. Like, I say this all the time. One of the scariest things to the human psyche is being punched in the face, until you get punched in the face. And then you're like, that shit wasn't really that bad. Like, it sucked, and I don't want to do it again, but it wasn't like, it's not like the first time it could happen, but it's not like you get punched in the face and you just die immediately. Right. You know what I mean? It's not like you're on your last level of, or your last life on Contra or some shit. Like, you get punched in the face, you get punched in the face. But honestly, most people amp themselves up to the point where, and this doesn't work with you or me, is they will go so hard to try to scare you because they don't want to fight you. Like, oh, da-da-da-da-da, that's great. Are we going to fight or not? And I've seen you do it, and I've done it too, is, are we going to fight or not? Because if you're going to do all this talking and amp yourself, then do all that shit, like, I'm just going to go back inside. Like, because I'm not gonna instigate the fight where we can both go home peacefully without a charge or somebody getting hurt. Because I don't know if you got a knife or a gun, or jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, or you used to wrestle or whatever the fuck.
The cop up the street,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was both of our advantages. Is we could knock you the fuck out and be like, I was working, I was on the clock. You know what I mean?
Officer, he fell.
Right. But going back to my original point is, yeah, you're right. Most people have not been in fights. And
but you don't think a punch to the face would really fucking ruin the day of the average American male? Like a good solid punch to the face? You don't think
it's pissed me off, but it's never been like, I mean, if you get rocked, like, I wouldn't advise getting hit by Mikey. You know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah.
Well,
but I
of
mean,
course
the
not.
average person
if the
isn't
average-
as effective as they think they are.
I'm just thinking, like, I'm thinking of the average, like, take an office building with 50 males in it.
Yeah, that's
from
what
the
I'm,
age
that's
of,
what I'm saying.
21 to 50, and you line them all up and you punch each one of them in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not you or you punch them in the face, but maybe I punch them in the face.
Right.
I'm wondering what percentage of people would be like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And what percentage of them have been like, this is the fucking
also
worst day of my
depends.
life.
Are we talking, because that all depends on the person, number one, and levels of ego and pride.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. If you took 100 of them,
Because when you
how
get
many
hit,
of them are going to say, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought?
nothing hurts more than your pride or your ego getting hurt.
Oh, that's true.
Because once you realize you've just been hit, like if you got hit in a dark room and nobody saw it, you'd be like, well, I don't have to tell anybody about that shit. If you get hit in front of a bunch of people, that's when
punch
your
them in
pride
front of their
starts
girlfriend and
fucking
like
with
there's
you.
a single tear just from like reflex.
Right.
That'd be the fucking worst. Yeah, no.
That's when people start trying to avenge shit. It's like when you get hit in front of your girl or your homeboys or whatever the fuck. If you get hit in a dark room and nobody sees, it's like if a tree falls in the fucking forest. You know what I mean? Like, does anybody? We don't have to talk about it necessarily.
I've never been hit with bare knuckles before. I've been hit with gloves, but I've never been hit with bare knuckles.
It's not much
I
different.
feel like I missed out.
Like,
I feel like I should.
When the
just go pay
adrenaline's that
somebody to
high,
do
it's
it.
honestly not that different.
No, I hear you, but
Until like you realize that you're bleeding from the face or some shit.
yeah, exactly. But like in anger, like it's different in anger. Like
that's what people don't realize. It's like, there are different people. Like either you're have that fighting personality or you don't, and that's not a positive or a negative, whatever. But
just who you are.
Yeah, like it's
like the dude we know is, to me, Larry's the goddamn boogeyman. That is the scariest motherfucker I know.
Larry's a scary dude.
He's not scary in the sense of intensity or anything like that. He's like that calm fucking Anthony Hopkins, Silence of the Lambs scary. Like,
it is a really unique feeling to be in the presence of someone who is so much better than you at something.
Yes.
That they can take you whenever they want.
Yeah, like
whether it's boxing or fighting or jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I mean, I train with legitimate like House and Gracie black belts in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And I've rolled with them, and I've rolled with, guys on my level, and, I've gotten tapped, I've tapped people, all this other shit. But then I've rolled with brown belts and purple belts and black belts that I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
it's like another
level. I don't even know a 64th of the shit
I think that's something that everybody should be exposed to on a regular basis.
To me, though.
The first time I felt that was I was 17 or 18. I'd gone to college, and I thought it'd be fun to join the intramural fencing team, which is a fucking weird time in my life that I don't talk about a lot.
Nobody's judging you.
Yeah. And so I did, and I was there for, I don't know, a few months. And like, you start to get to the feeling like you're like, I'm not good at this, but like maybe I could be good at this one day. Like, I feel like I'm pretty good for somebody who's new at this. And then one day they brought this guy in who had been invited to try out for the Olympics. He had been a part of the program years ago, and he was going to come help us out. And they, one by one, we got to spend some time with him, and he would start by just being like, okay, and you'd kind of post up with him, and you'd see what you can do. And so I've got my stupid little fucking fencing foil and my stupid little goddamn mask, and I'm fencing off against this guy who was invited to train for the Olympics, and I realized that there was nothing I could do to touch him, and that he could touch me with his foil.
With his
with
his sword.
Whenever and wherever he wanted, however he wanted. There was nothing I could do to stop him.
Where did the bad man touch you?
Stop. Stop. This is not about rape. It was so overwhelming to know that somebody was so much better than me at this. Right. I couldn't even get lucky. I couldn't just do something super wacky.
Like
just fucking swing it at him like a baseball bat. That wasn't going to do it. It is
You might have
so
liked it.
humbling to be around somebody like that.
Yeah.
It shifts your life perspective.
Shout out to my man Mike Johnson, who's one of our instructors, dude. Like he's actually a Howard County cop. And this dude, like, he's a great instructor. Shout out to all the guys at House and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, but Mike Johnson is a great instructor. Like he really breaks things down to a certain science and will work with you every step of the way. But at the same time, he will laugh at you while he's strangling you. You know what I mean? Like, and he just got his black belt, I want to say a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. But he's just, I don't think this dude's ever eaten like candy or nothing. He's just in top physical condition, like all the fucking time. Like, I mean, like I said, we have a bunch of dudes that are just fucking murderers that you meet them and they're the nicest people on the planet. And then
what belt is Stewart?
Mike just got his brown belt.
Brown.
Yeah.
And I forget the levels. Like what?
So it goes white, blue, purple, brown, black, red.
Gotcha.
So Mike just got his brown belt
this
year. I believe.
So in jiu-jitsu, they do a red belt above the black belt?
The red belt is grandmaster.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
that's like you pretty much can't really.
That means like you gotta be
earn
like
that.
70 or some shit.
Yeah, you kind of earn that through time and like it's more through the teaching as opposed to skill.
Interesting.
A lot of martial arts have that. It's just
They call it different things.
I mean, like
or,
you have
yeah.
like Elio Gracie and like the whole Gracie family, and I train under House and Gracie, who is a grandmaster and so on and so forth. But like we do have guys I train with, Tony Waldecker and Mike Johnson and Mike Stewart, Jordan Stewart, who are purple, brown, black, so on and so forth, that are just. I mean, I'm twice Jordan's size, and there's nothing I can do with that.
Oh yeah, well, that's the other thing.
There's nothing I can do with that. Like
Guys who don't give a fuck how big
it's
you
not
are.
even that. He's just tiny and knows what the fuck he's doing. He's a very quiet dude, studious, like pays attention to every little detail and technique, and that's the scary shit. And motherfuckers like Larry who can tell you how to like blow a cheekbone out by pulling on somebody's ear. Like
How big is Larry? I've only met him once. He's not that big, right?
no. He's like
he's solid though. He's not like
he's like I don't know 5'11",
yeah.
5'10", 5'11", 220 pounds. Like
Okay.
not like
so he's not small.
but he's not jacked either.
Yeah,
like
he's got like a little bit of a gut. Like.
yeah, he's older, so he's not like super old or anything, but he's very unassuming.
37, 38.
Yeah. If you saw Larry like in public, you would like he sits by himself, he doesn't really fuck with anybody, but like you would never think this dude could literally break everything in your body if he wanted to.
It's terrifying.
It really is.
That's like his striking and his stand-up grappling specifically, like joint locks and stuff. You've never felt more helpless than training with somebody like that.
This is the dude, the kind of dude who like playing around when you just like punch your boys and stuff. It's like getting hit with a cinder block.
Yeah.
He's got hands of stone, man.
It's
I'll tell you, I've been sucker
freakish.
punched by like 270-pound dudes. It's whatever. I've taken like body shots with Larry, just kind of like playing around, like just
Dead
not
on.
even throwing any weight behind it, but just his hand hitting your body,
Yeah,
and you're like, ugh, there went my soul. Like
he's just horsing around with you. Like,
I need to go.
It's just a whole different.
it's a good thing I have two
Experience, man.
kidneys.
It's just a whole different experience, bro.
We're at 2 hours. What do we want to do? Do we want to let the sand run out again? Do you want to keep going?
Well, we started partway through, so I think we just finish our conversation and roll it out. But I don't think we need to kill the.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while if we wait for the Jafar sand.
It's actually, well, no, because the Jafar sand like hollows out in the middle, so there's not
okay.
actually as much there as you think it is. But
Gotcha.
I'm not saying we need to finish it.
Yeah, you're probably looking at 20 or 30 minutes there.
Okay.
But we'll
Think
just
so?
That's what I was thinking by just looking at it. It's 20,
All right.
30 minutes.
We wrap it up.
Yeah, start winding down. Whatever.
Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
We kept going on the fight train stuff. I do want to get Larry in here though.
Please do.
Oh,
I think Mike. I would
I'd ask
love to see
what
you
your
get Mike
favorite-
Stewart in here.
What your favorite fight?
Oh
know
yeah,
what the city was.
That's where all this actually started.
Yes, that
what
is
your
where
favorite fight
where
was.
that started. That's
Mikey,
correct.
favorite
That's
fight,
where-
go.
Probably. We went over a couple of them. I think
I have to pee though. Can one of you tell a story that I can leave for? Is that a thing that can happen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. So the whole fight started because some guy wasn't allowed into Diamondback because he didn't have an ID, and he was getting an attitude about it. Apparently, whoever started the argument wasn't instigating it after they started seeing what was going on. And what had happened was they were arguing, and then more and more people were showing up to sort of back up Diamondback.
Right.
So now it's these two guys, one of which is just jaw-jacking to all hell. And then it's like, it started off as like a bouncer, and then a bouncer and a manager, and a bouncer and a manager, and two regulars and a bartender.
Right.
And then a bouncer, a manager, two regulars, a bartender, 8 more regulars, another bartender.
Jesus.
And so all of a sudden this guy's got a wall of people that he doesn't realize are all ready to just beat the piss out of him. So we're sort of watching this all go down. This is in like fairly early on in Diamondback, maybe second or third year. And the guy is just jaw-jacking. Yeah, talking all this shit, whatever. And after a while, I realized that he is all talk. So, yeah. So, actually, it was a little bit. So I realized I'm just talking half story to you, half story to you.
I'll listen to the second half of the story.
So, and then when
Delicious steak and garlic bread.
yeah, I can't wait to kill that. But
I can imagine nothing more awkward than trying to tell the first half of a story to one person and then tell the second half to another like nothing happened. Go ahead.
So this guy runs his mouth a whole bit.
Okay.
Then a bunch of people show up behind all of us. Like it ended up being like 15 people that were lined up on the stairs at Diamondback and in the foyer backing this guy out. Well, I realized that the guy is all talk. You know, you got to sort of approach the situation and see what's going on. Like, is this guy really going to cause a problem, or is he just trying to make a scene to make himself feel big? And it turned out to be the latter. And he's running his mouth out on the deck, and I was just like, all right, I'm done with this. So I just start like turn my back to him and start backing into the guy and basically walk him down the handicap ramp. And then he makes it about 3/4 of the way down the ramp before he realizes what is going on. He's like, yo, don't fucking talk. Don't touch me, bro. Don't touch me. And starts like not pushing me, but just kind of like trying to act hard.
Laying his hands on you and shouting a lot.
Yeah. So it continues to escalate. Like he's just running his mouth, whatever. And I walk him over to the edge and just kind of gently push him off of the curb. And then he proceeds to get up in my face and is like, yo, don't fucking touch me. And I just kind of gently push him right back off of the curb again. But all leading up to this, he's saying all this ridiculous shit. It was like the worst shit talking I've ever heard, because it was like, he's like, yo, don't back up to me. And I'm just laughing because I know he's not going to say
went to
it.
college.
And he's like, oh yeah, I went to prison, man. We'd fuck you in prison. Like you look real cute with those dimples. Look real cute with those dimples. We fuck you in prison. I was like, I'm saying out loud to all the people around, I'm like, this is the worst shit talking I've ever heard. Like you're threatening to have sex with me. It's the worst and best shit talking, because
I
like
was about to say, you could really throw the wrong person off of their game.
that
pretty
is
hard
the
with
most that's the most threatening thing you could say to me. Like, oh, I'm gonna beat your ass. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna fuck you. Like, hey, whoa,
Wait
hey,
a minute now.
you chill the fuck out. Like, let's not get hasty here. But ultimately, like I said, the guy was all talk. So I basically just told you the story of the biggest my favorite
non-fight.
Because the best fight was when I broke my hand on that guy's
Knocked
face.
the guy out standing and walked away.
Yeah, you're never gonna top that one. But I think this was the best like non-fight.
Man, I don't know. As far
I
as
was gonna say that must be the worst feeling to be really shouting at someone and trying to get them to back down,
and they just don't care.
and they won't.
I specialize in that.
But I feel like
Potty break.
But I feel like your brain, the brain of that guy, protects him for knowing he looks like a pussy that day. That guy didn't walk away knowing he was made to look like a pussy.
Maybe
that guy fabricated something in his head to say, "I really won that day." That guy was kind of a bitch.
But maybe he did though, because I mean, I see it a lot as far, and not even just being a bouncer. Just in my everyday experiences when I like see just drunk men, because I don't see this shit too often with women. Like, I see like with men, it's like it's this weird like pride, ego. Like, women just care if they look good to other bitches.
Yeah, it is.
Dudes care if they look good to other bitches, other dudes. Like, I've always said it. The male ego is the most fragile thing on the fucking planet. And I think men are 10 times more emotional than women are. But that's just my personal opinion.
We're not far off from the animals, are we? Like you hang out outside a bar at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Bro.
It is not far off from anything you'll see in a nature special.
I watched a girl. I watched a dude almost fight a girl and another dude he didn't know, because the girl he didn't know that he was going to fight was stopping the guy from taking this drunk, like visibly drunk, can't stand up chick home.
Yeah.
And a girl stepped in and was like, "You're not going to take my friend home and take advantage of her, blah, 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 blah," all this other shit. But she didn't do it in a way of like, "Hey man, like, she's drunk, she needs to come home." It was brash and abrasive in front of a bunch of other people. And so like, this dude looks like a rapist now. And he's like, what? Da-da-da, you need to mind your motherfucking business. Da-da-da-da-da, all this extra shit. Like, nah, man, like, we were all going to stop you anyway. Like, you're not just going to take advantage of this girl in front of all of us. Like, and like I said, I really think fights are just based on when you're someone like, to the extent of the people that I try to surround myself with, the Mikeys, the Mike Johnsons, the Mike Stewarts, so on and so forth. You don't care about
it's a
this
Mike
shit.
thing.
You know, it is. You don't care about this shit. Like, you don't care about the ego. You'll get called a bitch and a pussy and all this other shit and go home and you'll wake up the next day. You won't even like bat an eye at it like before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
You won't even be like, man. You won't even think about the fact. You won't even lay in bed and be like, that dude really called me a pussy. Like, it's just, you just get home and you're out. Like, it's that shit. It's amazing to watch dudes specifically just work themselves up because of like public perception.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
can't let anybody think you're a bitch.
Nobody can think I'm soft. Like, everybody's soft, man. Like, nobody's like too hard for anything. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's got a breaking point emotionally, unless you're just like literally that psychotic where you can't process emotion. But like the average person, like whether you've been through a heartbreak or a family member dying or whatever the fuck, like everyone has emotions.
Or the end of the Walking Dead.
I didn't see the end of Walking Dead because I don't watch that shit.
Heartbreaking. I'm just kidding. Fuck that show.
I heard Jason Yee died.
Jason,
on the show.
Spoiler alert. Jason Yee died.
Jesus. You know what I did think was really interesting
Jason
about
Yee,
that, and it started to come out this afternoon. So the makers of The Walking Dead were concerned about spoilers, things leaking out, like footage leaking out. So like, I guess there were like, I don't know, 8 or 9 people there were like 8 or 9 people that could have been killed. I guess that was a big cliffhanger at the end of last season. So instead of just filming the 2 that they went with, they filmed all of them. So this afternoon, one of them came out, like this leaked footage of one of the other characters being murdered in brutal fashion. I thought that was really interesting. I can't wait to see the other stuff come out.
That's an awesome thing. Like, I love when people get clever like that.
Yeah. It's really interesting. And I guess they're doing that same kind of thing on Game of Thrones this season while they're filming, because there are guys that hang out on set now and watch where people go and who shows up and who doesn't, and they start to put stuff together. Oh, the actor that plays this, he hasn't showed up anymore. We think he might be dead. So apparently the director, like, there's a couple of guys whose job it is to like have actors show up in weird places and scenes they don't belong in, and actors who used to be in it show up for no reason, just so that all of the kind of spoiler alert stuff is meaningless.
Dude, the internet is the fucking devil.
Oh my god, it's the fucking worst.
It's the devil, Bobby
It's not even the
Boucher.
internet for real. It's like it's camera phones. Fucking devil.
Ah, yeah. Do you remember the first camera phones? How fucking awful they were.
With the LG chocolate.
And we thought they were amazing, but they were just taking garbage
Yeah,
photos.
just 4 pixels in that bitch. Like
looks like Mario.
right. Like,
Gray, dark gray,
Yeah,
slightly
like
lighter
just-
gray.
Terrible.
Technology, it's a hell of a drug.
Ain't it though?
2 hours and 13 minutes. I guess it's probably 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Something like that.
It's more like an
5
hour and
minutes?
35 because we
5
lost
minutes.
fucking 25 minutes of fucking.
Well, it'll be an hour and 30
Video.
minutes of video, even if we lost the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, well.
You people should be fucking ecstatic that we gifted you with
This is the second podcast I've been on where we've gone well over time. I think I'm just gonna make this a thing.
Yeah, it's like it's.
We're just go to
yeah,
podcasts and we run way later than necessary.
It'd be beautiful if we had all 2 hours of video, but
Yeah, well, whose fault is that?
fuck.
God damn it, Skyler.
Fuck.
Shit.
I already felt bad about fucking up that Clash of Clans attack on, what is it, Monday? Tuesday? That was the fucking worst. And now I've done this, I should just fucking shoot myself in the
Just
head.
let
Look
me
at
down.
your ego getting at
Damn
you.
it.
Look at your ego getting at you right
Oh my
now.
god, it was the
Your
worst
pride.
ever. Like when you make an attack in Clash of Clans, you could see how many people were watching. There were a fucking ton of people watching. It was all up to me, and I just totally fucking
What's
just
the shit,
whiffed it. It
what's
was the worst.
Shit, the streaming site for people who play video games.
Twitch.
Yeah. Was it like something like that?
No, it's just like the people on the so like you match up against another team, right?
Okay.
And so people on your team or people on the other team can watch when you do an attack, right? And I was basically the last attack of the war, and if I did it right, we would have won, and if I did it wrong,
Oh, so you were left
that
lane
was
on a
it.
green
It
light.
was me. I was
you were
the
left lane
one.
on a green light.
And I was fucking what's his name from the Mighty Ducks. I was Charlie from the Mighty Ducks. 1, 2, 3, triple
It's a
D.
lot of pressure, man.
And I
Dink.
it wasn't a quarter-inch right. It was
Nah.
it was 3 feet to the left. I completely whiffed the attack. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
It was the fucking worst.
That's like
thing that's ever
I've
happened.
said it before. I said it before. It's just it's the same kind of pressures when you're in the left-hand lane and the light turns green. Like you're in the left turn lane
Yeah.
and the light turns green and there's like a row of cars behind you.
You got to get moving.
And you're just like, fuck. I know y'all are trying to go, but it's that same kind of pressure, man.
Who is it? It was
You watch football. Who's the kicker who fucked everything up for the Ravens?
Cundiff.
Yeah.
Cundiff, yeah, Billy Cundiff, yeah.
That's
Billy.
Don
How's
and
you?
Mike, there's an old radio show. They used to have a game that they would play where they would have callers get to where they were in line for a left-hand turn with a green light.
Mm.
And then the game was you couldn't say anything. You called in, and then you said when the light went green, and you held your phone out the window. And for every honk that came through on the phone, you got like $100 or something like that.
That's incredible. I like
It
that.
was the fucking worst game ever.
I would have never moved. I'd have been there for like 3 lights. Just everybody would have been late to work that day. Fuck 'em.
Terrible.
Fuck 'em.
I'd murder somebody.
Oh right. Somebody's sitting at the front of the line with their phone out the window while
person would-
you can't make a left.
It would make for great radio because you'd hear me beat the piss out of that dude.
You'd hear somebody get murdered.
Mike,
on
you
the
only
air.
had to be to work till like 5 p.m. So
Yeah, but like I said, I'm always 5 minutes late. So
yeah, okay.
if you start fucking with that 5 minutes, then suddenly it's 10 or 15. That's just unacceptable.
you're making me look bad.
Yeah.
I was already late. You're making me look worse.
Yeah.
the new generation of job seekers likes to do this thing where, like, you know, because you go to all these job sites, like, how do I get a job? How do I interview? And it's like, make sure you show up early, right? Which they mean like 5 or 10 minutes early.
Mm-hmm.
The new generation of job seekers shows up 30 minutes early for their interview.
For what?
I don't fucking know, but it makes me want to not hire them.
See, the thing that I've noticed, and this is about like job interviews and fucking like the dentist or fucking any kind of medical facility, is like you'll set an appointment, but then there's still like a solid 20-25 minute wait time.
Oh yeah, it's
Like
bullshit.
my appointment was at 8:30. Why the fuck is it 9:15?
Yeah, but
And
if
I still haven't even.
But if I'm hiring you, and
Okay,
you show
but-
up 30 minutes early, bitch, I got shit I gotta do.
But I assume
can't
that's
just,
an
like-
that's on
but-
you. But if
but
you show, if my
you-
interview's at
you-
9 o'clock and I show up at 8:55, why the fuck am I not interviewing with you until 9:15? So let me show up at fucking 9:15.
Well, I mean,
I agree. The interviewer should show you the courtesy of starting your interview more or less on time. 5, 10 minutes I get, shit
fine.
runs over. 9:07's fine.
Fine.
9:15,
9:10 is fine.
fuck that guy.
yeah, you're probably pushing it at 15, but
Dude, the last job I actually interviewed for that I actually like got was like my pre-spinal surgery and shit. But like my mom worked for the goddamn company. Like she was like my mom essentially got me this job, and like I showed up for the interview. It was at like 9. I didn't interview with this motherfucker till like 9:20.
I had an interviewee show up.
The interview was like 5 minutes, dude.
This is
Like
early last year.
they're like, "Are you Khyle?" Yes. All right, here's your paper.
right. Welcome aboard.
The interviewee showed up 30 minutes early for their interview. It was a 9 o'clock interview. They showed up at 8:30. I was fucking busy, and so I was like, put them in the cafeteria. I'll go get them when I'm ready. And then I fucking blanked on the
Forgot.
fact that they were there until 9:45.
Yeah.
They were in there for an hour and 15 minutes.
Bruh, how much do you guys pay?
Please tell me they didn't get hired.
No, they didn't get hired. That interview sucked dick.
I'd have
But,
burnt-
like, I felt
I'd have
so
burned the
bad.
entire fucking building down.
And when they've been waiting for an hour and 15 minutes, I can't just go in and just, because I'm an asshole, I can't just go in and be like, dude, I totally blanked. I'm really sorry. I was just like, oh, I had an emergency I had to deal with. I'm really sorry. Come on, let's do this. And within literally 3 minutes, I knew I wasn't going to hire the person. It was the worst I've ever felt about an interview. I felt really bad about
What
it.
was bad about it?
What's that?
Why didn't this person get hired?
They were just odd. They were odd, and like they're
Like Mikey odd or like
no
Henri
like
odd?
Let's be clear. I am unhireable as well.
I know that. That's why I said Mikey odd.
there are like I don't know. There are a bunch of things that come together that you know. Their resume was weird. Like there were big gaps in the
It
resume.
was all in Comic
They, like,
Sans.
it wasn't in comics. It wasn't in Comic Sans, but it was like
I think my resume is in Comic Sans. That's
In
the
an-
funny
I'd be
thing.
like,
in
get
an
out.
age where you can type the word resume into Microsoft Word,
Or if you know how to
and it
spell
will essentially
resume.
build it for you.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for it to be in 9 different fonts in 6 different sizes. Like I know you're trying real hard, but you kind of missed the mark on this one. People like I don't know. There's just some people like you get a vibe from. It's like nah. If you
What do you
work here,
do?
you'll
I don't
probably
even know what
kill
you
me.
do.
What do I do?
Yeah.
I run the
GameStop?
mailroom at a law firm.
Okay. Yeah. I can't say I'd be too upset that I didn't get that job.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't hiring executives or anything like that.
Right.
Like it wasn't the end of the world. But yeah, no, an hour and 15 minutes. I felt really bad about that one.
I think I might have cussed at you in the interview for an hour and 15
I'd have been
minutes.
okay with that. I'd
what
have been
the
like,
fuck?
you know what, you earned that one. I was
Yeah.
just-
Like, what
Did
the
you ever
fuck,
hear
yeah.
my interview process for Diamondback?
No.
So I guess this actually answers the question from earlier. So I was at
About your
Diamondback.
best fight.
Yeah. So at Diamondback before I worked there, and it was Henri worked there at the time, and this guy had walked outside, and because I was outside with a friend of mine that smoked, and this guy walks outside with his drink, And I was like, hey, man, you got to take your drink inside. You can't have them out here. He's like, who fuck are you? Like, do you fucking work here? I was like, no, but I know people that do. They can get in a lot. He's like, fuck you. And I don't know what happened, but this was one of the first times I ever just lost it. I grabbed the guy's drink, and he starts to pull it away from him, and I just like hammer fist him
On top of the head.
twice in the face.
Jesus Christ.
Broke his nose and broke his orbital bone. And then
God.
2 weeks later, I was working as a bouncer at Diamondback. And then from there, once they had
Next thing
position,
you know, Mike is a goddamn bar manager.
yeah, once they had positions open up, that I was a bartender again, and then eventually the GM. So
Jesus Christ.
moving on up, but that's how I got the job. And I served that guy a bunch of times. Like, he was obviously out for a while, but the
I'm not
next
gonna
time I
lie.
saw him,
Remembered, like,
If you broke my nose and my orbital bone, I would try to fight you every time I walked in the Diamondbacks.
or you'd be like, I should probably not fight that
Nope.
guy.
I'm fighting you every
'Cause he
single time.
And these were
it
not
goes
good
one
punches.
way or another. Either you're gonna fight somebody every time, or you're never. I mean,
If it were on some like I pulled my drink back and you lost control type shit and broke my shit, I'm fighting you every single time I see
I
you.
kind of admire that guy for like continuing to like go back.
My
there.
pride doesn't
Like,
work that way.
If somebody broke my fucking orbital bone, either we're gonna fight again next time I go back there, or I'm
That- or
never going there
that, or I
again.
would've, like,
There's
peed
no
in your
middle
gas
ground.
tank or some shit.
John G was bouncing at the time, and he said he went into the bathroom because I just left, and he said he went in the bathroom and it looked like somebody was murdered. Like the guy, like I didn't see it. I hit the guy and he had like a cut where I hit his eye and like a little above the nose, but I guess he just opened up right after that.
I'm sure he tried. If you broke his nose, I'm sure he tried to like blow the blood out.
Probably,
Jesus Christ.
but apparently he just went in the bathroom and
his
just
eyes
bled
fucking
everywhere.
Swole the fuck up.
So
I guarantee you, he blew a snot rocket and his eyes swole the fuck up,
yeah.
and he couldn't see shit for the fucking a week.
Oh, I just heard about that like not that long ago. Like, if you try and do that, it like your eyes swell up.
That's why I try to break noses in fights, because you have two options: see or get knocked the fuck out, whichever you choose.
Okay.
If you break a
The
nose,
more you know.
if you break a nose, you have two options: you can either breathe or fucking see. Which one would you
I
prefer?
wish we could put a digital star over his head.
The more you know, like, but honestly, like, which one do you choose? You get your nose broken in the middle of a fight. Do you breathe or you see?
Oh, got it. That makes more sense. What you said the first time was you have two options: get knocked the fuck out or see.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because if you can't breathe, your mouth's gonna be open. If you can't breathe, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
So
if you can't
if
breathe
your
through
mouth
your
is
nose,
open, you get caught in the
your
jaw.
You
Or
get
you're
knocked
done.
out.
Yeah.
Got it.
or
Okay.
you can choose, or you can see,
Got it.
but you're still gonna get knocked the fuck out. Like either way, like
So your choices are: you get knocked the fuck out, or you can get knocked the fuck out.
I'm gonna go with don't get my nose broken. I'm gonna go with behave at the bar. How about that? Is that a viable?
Well, I don't
option?
bounce
Is that like-
anymore, so I stopped bouncing this year after the flood. So
Oh, gotcha.
shout out to all the businesses that were affected by that and that are
What's the
reopening.
deal? Are they like?
slowly.
I hear things are gonna start opening back in like November or something like
They're
that.
talking about opening the upstairs of the Phoenix in November.
Upstairs of the Phoenix.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for with Portales Ghost Bar, is having the upstairs open by then. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff,
A lot of
a
shit.
lot of
No
bureaucratic bullshit, a lot of construction.
a lot of bullshit that actually matters, like buildings not collapsing while people are inside of them,
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah,
nobody,
we'll have to
nobody
see
wants
how
that.
it all
Now,
progresses.
does anyone know the actual like what happened?
What do you
Was
mean?
it just like, because I've heard so many different things as far as like just flood water, just like raising up. I heard a car got stuck in the goddamn Lapas Creek, and that's
Oh,
how.
no.
No, it's just a lot of rain in a short time.
But we've
period.
had more. We've had more
there's
rain
no-
than that.
and there's
not
no-
that quickly. What
Well,
I think what
this-
happened is it's a lot of rain very quickly, and the reason it all fell down into our area is because of all that buildup like all the building, the extra expansion of
Right.
real estate around, you know, it just forces when you have no actual ground that can absorb anything. Everything just runs off and then
Yeah,
heads
it's just
down to Pelican
concrete.
City, and that's what causes it to overflow. It's not just the regular. That's actually why a lot of businesses didn't get the insurance money. It's because it wasn't technically a flood, because a flood, according to an insurance company, is water raising up from like the river, like the waterway.
Oh, interesting.
So this was technically water running down from.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, so that's why a lot of
the
businesses didn't
dumbest
get money.
shit.
super bullshit.
Yep.
Wow,
That's
It's
that's
a
unbelievable.
fucking flood. Like,
That's insurance companies for you.
I mean, any way to save $1 where you know, because I can't imagine what the payout for that shit would have been.
Nah, it's garbage. It's.
I mean, but it's the same shit. Like, you get into a fender bender, your deductible.
I know any reason to not pay.
Yeah, like I mean, like you get into I could back into your car and put the littlest dent if you choose to fucking get that shit fixed. I still got to pay a $500 fucking deductible or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's
Like,
garbage. Double Jafar sand.
hey,
Nailed it.
That's well done. Plus some extra bonus time because we didn't even start the Jafar sand.
and we
Jafar
started
sand
early
was
too,
out for a while in the middle.
and we started
Yeah.
early.
That's amazing.
We'll figure it out.
Can we go?
Well, what'd you say?
Can we go?
I really want to smoke
Yeah.
a cigarette.
Can we
so-
leave now? All right, so we'll go ahead and actually officially end it at this point.
Officially official. Do you have a track that we can download via MP3 that we can stick
You
on the
can
back of this thing?
download a bunch of fucking tracks by MP3 if you go to www.xavierjames.bandcamp.com and
XavierJames.bandcamp.com.
and I have three
Text
or
that link to
four-
Mikey. We'll put it in like the description or whatever.
All right. I have 4 projects on there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have
Which one do you want us to tag at the end of the episode? Is there a song that you
I
want to go
would,
with?
yeah.
Take your pick.
ATFU. It's the
ATFU.
first song off of my EP called ATFU.
Act the fuck up.
Hey, that's what it stands for. The only reason I say that is because I already used Hennything for the Can't Get Right podcast. So
Oh,
For the N-Bottom Happy Hour.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, the song's about Hennessy, so I figured it fit. This one's a little bit more.
Henny Thing is the name of the song?
Yeah.
That's a good fucking name of a song. That's well done.
I mean, I thought they, because wasn't that the name of the episode?
Yeah, but that's because of the song.
Yeah, I know.
And we were drinking Hennessy.
And when I saw the episode, when I saw the name of the episode, I was like, "That's a good fucking name of an episode."
I was like, that's
but
pretty
now
clever.
I know that that's not where the credit goes.
So just like anything else, they get their ideas from other people.
So are you
serves
saying the
me
Can't Get
right
Right
for
podcast
giving
was-
credit to
was really based off the Last Call podcast?
Absolutely.
should not
You heard it here first.
have given credit to take.
Well,
one
either
of
way,
Jake
I still
Wan's.
hold the title of first guest to be on both.
There we go.
So,
That's true. That's true. First and only.
and both,
First forever.
and the title of running over substantially on both.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do
Well,
with this monster.
It's almost 3 hours.
Thank you,
ahead.
Kyle, for joining us
Absolutely, guys.
on the original Elegant City podcast.
Seeing
last,
how the
last call.
truth be told, I was in Ellicott City before all you motherfuckers. So I appreciate being on both shows.
Oh no, we have our own audiences. They're both great. I mean, we got it, but
Politically correct, Mikey. I've never seen that
Oh, that was
before.
I know,
nice.
weird.
Yeah, that was nice. That was extending an olive branch right there.
Something like that.
I'm proud.
But thank you all for joining us for this haphazard 2 episodes of Last Call.
Fucking no, maybe. Yeah. probably.
We'll see you next time, and thank you for joining us.
We came to shut this fucker down. Homie, we don't fuck around. Jogging for a little bit, yes. But guess you running out of thunder sound. Homie, we don't dumb it down. Tell them what we came here to do. We shit that shut it down. We act the fuck up. Yeah, act the fuck up. We gon' act the fuck up. Yeah, act the fuck up. We gon' act the fuck up. Yeah, act the fuck up. We gon' act the fuck up. Yeah, act the fuck up. Off the operating table, back stables. Who guess who run it now? The Crown Royal King has returned. Who here to shut it down? Double cup and brown. You hear them horns? We step a battle. Paint the town a bloody red before they walk me to the gallows. The return of Hugo Strange.